one system that you don't want to compromise on your hot rod, it's the fuel system, especially when you're building a high horsepower engine like we have. I'm Mark Christ, tech editor of Muscle Mustangs and Fast Forwards magazine, and we're here at MM&FF headquarters in Tampa, Florida, assembling Project Hypersilver. We have an entire fuel system from Aeromotive, and we're getting ready to install it. We decided to go with the Aeromotive Stealth 340 pump. Now this pump handles between 700 and 1,000 horsepower, depending on your application. What's cool about it is it's the same dimensions as a factory pump or any aftermarket pump. We had ours shipped directly to Aerotech Laboratories. ATL went ahead and equipped this 15-gallon fuel cell with our Aeromotive pump before it had it shipped to us. Well, we're drilling holes in the fuel cell framework for the fuel filter mount. Well, we're deciding where the bulkhead fittings go. That way, the fuel lines that come out of the top of the fuel cell can go through the floor to the underside of the car and to the front to the engine. What we've done here is laid out masking tape and then drew a grid to lay out where we're going to drill the holes for our bulkhead fittings. We're now in the process of running our return line to the front of the car. We're installing all of the hose temporarily now with zip ties. We're going to come back later and clip off the zip ties and install permanent clamps. We're getting ready to plumb the engine bay. So we're going to start off with these bulkhead fittings, and we've put a piece of tape here where we're going to install the fittings. We're going to mark them, drill the holes, and install the fittings. The feed line from the back of the car to the front of the car where we had previously drilled the holes and installed the bulkhead fitting going into the engine bay. We're now going to put the hose end onto the Dash 6 hose. Return style fuel system like we're installing on this car, we like to run the feed line to the fuel rail, and then from the fuel rail the return line runs through this fuel pressure regulator like this one from Aeromotive. Now there are different styles and colors. We like this all black one, which is actually their marine style regulator. What's really cool about it also is you can hook up a vacuum line so you have variable fuel pressure. And there's also a little port here for your fuel pressure gauge. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to run this one on this car because the P38 cross ram induction system already has these really spiffy fuel rails that are part of the system, and the fuel pressure regulator is built in here. So we've already run both the feed and return lines for the fuel system from the fuel cell all the way in the back of the car to the front here at the engine bay, where we installed these two bulkhead fittings. Now we're going to make the two lines that go from the bulkhead fittings to the engine. So we're almost finished. Daryl's tightening up the last of the fittings here in the engine bay. So all that's left is to put some 93 octane in the tank and get it on the dyno.